I would love to talk about What We Do in the Shadows. I would love to.
Yeah, let's do it.
It was such a wonderful, wonderful show. And Guillermo was so much of the heart to me of that show. How did that come to you, and sort of what drew you to the character and the show?
For me, I actually came to it by accident. I went to a wine and cheese night that my friend Mimi Michaels was having because she just had a newborn, and they were in LA from New York because there was a huge storm coming. So they left New York to be in warmer weather with the baby. And she said, "Come to the wine and cheese night I'm having at my brother's house." And I was already in my pajamas and not like going anywhere. And it was raining. When it rains in LA, you don't want to drive anywhere. No one can drive in LA when it rains. It's just like, I don't know what it is. It's just not
Somebody
enough.
just told me that they're actually, I think it was my producer just told me they're trying to teach people how to drive in the rain in Los Angeles right now.
I would take a course. Yeah. I don't think it's just in us. We're not used to water and that like hydro glide, all that,
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's like, if people would forget about people who drive in the snow, like, I don't know how people do that. Like, it's like, wait, so when it snows, you still go to work? And it's like, yeah, we have to go to work. And it's like, and school.
It is snowed 6 inches here this morning where I'm at.
Okay, where are you at?
I'm just in Portland.
Okay.
So Portland is not, I mean, we know how to drive in the snow. I grew up here, and my parents had us take skid courses because it lowered our insurance when we were in high school. So we know how to drive in the snow, but Portland doesn't get snow because we're like at sea level. So we don't really get a lot of snow.
Yeah.
So when it does snow and we get these huge ice storms, the entire city shuts down. The whole city. So for like 5 inches of snow, there's no school. Like everyone's done. It's pretty. Yeah, it's crazy here right now.
That makes sense. I mean, yeah, so LA, so it was raining that day when she called me or texted me, and I said, I don't know. And I almost didn't go. And, I realized if I didn't see her now, I was probably not going to see her for a couple months, if not, within the next year or so. So I, put on some clothes and I went over, and like it was her husband, her baby, her brother, and this girl that I never known or met before. Her name was Yvonne. And we were just laughing, having a good time, and not talking about anything specific, but just having a good time. And the next day I get a text from an unknown number. And she's like, "Hey, this is Yvonne from last night. I got your number from Mimi. I hope you don't think it's weird, but I think you're really, effing funny, and you should definitely audition for my fiance's new show." And I was like, I don't do those kind of films, so...
I love the fact that it was just like super random. Like, you're like, sure, your fiance's new show.
Yeah, right.
Copy that.
Right. Hey, will you meet us in the back of this alley? Tell no one. And I was like, why not? And I was also like, it was actually 7 years ago, last month, January. It was the first week of January. I was like, New Year's had just passed, and I was in this new, like, what, this year I'm going to do the yes and Oprah, like yes and yes to things, say yes to things. And so, sure enough, when I was asked to meet someone, in a dark alley, I said, sure, why not? I just said, okay, so what's this project? And she said, it's for What We Do in the Shadows. And I was like, the movie? Because I had heard about the movie, but I didn't see the movie. I hadn't seen the movie yet. Everyone was talking about it. It was actually on my queue that night when I was watching TV, and she texted me. It was on my queue, one of the things to watch, like in line. And I was like, no. And so I said, okay, what's the information for this audition? She's like, it's for this and blah, blah. And Allison Jones is casting. I was like, if you know anything about Allison Jones, who's cast everything under the sun that you love, like, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Golden Girl, like everything, Bridesmaids, everything that's hilarious and good, she has touch.
Yeah.
And I was like, you only get invited to her casting office. Like, it's like a really big deal. So I was like, I'll definitely use this moment to like get my foot in the door.
Yeah.
And I got the script, and the character was 20 to 25 years older than I am. And so I was like, okay, well, how about this? How about if I go in and I'm just doing it the way that I think the character would be at my age? And I just wanted to meet Allison Jones. So I got the part, I got the paper and the script and whatnot. And I went into the office, and I was so excited to meet Allison. I was like, oh my God, I'm here to see Allison Jones. And it was like literally a complimentary audition. It was like someone made a call because there was no one in the office. And I was like, I'm here to see Allison. And Ben, who is an amazing casting director too, was like, oh, she's not here. And
yeah, exactly. Like, I'm sorry, you're going to be reading with me. You're going to read with me.
And I'm like, no, I'm supposed to meet Allison. And it's like, she's in London auditioning for Guillermo's right now for this character.
No.
And I'm like, I was like, okay. And then so he put on like a microphone and the, little collar. And
Yeah.
then we did the audition. I remember just doing it and then remembering that after I was done, as an actor, like sometimes you find this really happy place where you fall into the character that you like completely mesh into one. And you're
Yeah.
like, I remember doing it and just like him going, Harvey. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, we're done. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And then I was
Cool.
walking away, and then he goes, Harvey, wait. And then I thought he was going to go, you're going to Hollywood, or something. And I was like, yay, I'm going to Hollywood. He goes, the microphone. And he like grabs the microphone off of my collar.
Oh,
And I
bless
was
your
going to walk
heart.
out with the microphone. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. But I didn't remember what I did. I walked out. I was like, I hope I did okay. But if anything else, then we'll see it. And my agent calls out, how do you think you did? And I was like, I don't know. I really don't. I
Yeah.
don't remember what I did. But 2 hours later, they had shown it to Taika, Jermaine, FX, Paul Sims. Everyone had seen it, including Allison, and they had voted unanimously to test me with Kayvon to do a chemistry
Within
test
2 hours.
within 2 hours. And I didn't hear back from them for like 2 weeks.
Hmm.
And I was Martin Luther King weekend, and it was a Sunday, and I knew they started production that Tuesday because Monday they're off and Tuesday they started, and I had not heard anything about the chemistry. And also my agents had told me they're also that you're the wild card. And I
Hmm.
was like, okay. So I made a career of being the wild card. Like the wild
Yeah.
card is like it wasn't written for you. It wasn't like you're not the height, you're not the hair, you're not the eye color, you're not the body. Like everything is not written for you, but if they were just to go a different direction, you'd be the
Yeah.
wild card. You'd be the one to go
Yeah.
with that they would see. And I was
Huh.
like, okay, fair enough. I'll be the wild card and go chemistry. Didn't hear from them, so I was kind of bummed. I was like, I didn't get it because it's Sunday before the actual, production starts. And a number kept calling me like from a 16-digit number, and I was like, "Ugh, I'm not answering that. It's a telemarketer or something. And eventually, I
Right.
was with my sister. We were shopping at the mall and like trying to distract myself. She was trying to cheer me up. And then we were driving back home, and the phone kept ringing. She's like, "Will you pick up the fucking phone?" And I was like, "Sure, sure, sure." And then I picked up the phone. And it was, "Hey, is this Javi?" And I was like, "Yeah." "Hey, it's Jermaine and Taika." And I was like, yes, I'm supposed to test for you." And like, "No, you're not testing." And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much for the opportunity. I wish you
Aw.
the best tonight." I thought they were giving me like a complimentary,
Hmm.
thank you for your time. And they're like, "We'll see you on set." And I was like, I what? And then my sister was like, "Oh my God." And she pulled over and then she stopped the car. And I was like shaking. I was like, "What? Thank you, thank you. I'll see you on set." And it was just like I had to call my agents and tell them that I booked it, and they didn't believe me. They're like, "Harvey, they call us." And I was like, "I booked it. I booked it." I must have looked insane. Like I must have looked
You're like, some
completely.
crazy number called me and
Yeah,
told me
some
I got
crazy
the
number called
job.
me and said I booked it. I must have been insane.
Gave them my bank number.
Yeah, they said they're a prince, and and I was just it was life changing. Like I was at it was Sunday afternoon when I got the call. I had to tell them the Monday was closed. Everyone was on vacation. And finally on Monday night they're like, "You got it." And I was like, "I got it." They're like, "You have a fitting tomorrow morning, go straight to like." So it was a quick fitting, and then when I wore to the audition that day, I wanted to age myself up, so I wore this like sweater vest with an orange long sleeve shirt, and I popped out these Harry Potter glasses, and I parted my hair in the middle, and I curled it in, like, because I didn't. I saw a picture of Guillermo del Toro, and he had this glasses and hair curled in. I didn't know Guillermo, so I was like, that looks like Guillermo, like, so
Hmm.
I mimic my look for Guillermo after Guillermo del Toro,
Okay.
and I auditioned with that look, and when I booked it, I went to this fitting. Taika was there, and they're like, "What are you thinking for him?" So, "What you wear for the audition?" And I was like, "Oh, I wore this blah 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 blah." Like, yeah, that. So they just mimicked the audition outfit, and that actually mirrored what Guillermo's look became, including down to the hair, down for the
Interesting.
series. And so, just one phone call, life changing. So one wine and cheese.